In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I use Facebook ads to grow my latest single, Take Me Home, to over 10,000 streams with no fan base to start with. The objective of the Facebook campaign was not only to get 10,000 streams, but also to start building an engaged audience from scratch. The budget for this campaign was $217. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you the results of the campaign and how this has affected my Spotify. If you are new to this channel, smash the subscribe button right now, as it's the best way to support the channel and if you enjoy this sort of content. But with that mandatory out of the way, let's get into the video. So a quick disclaimer I want to make before I run you through the analytics is this campaign was not to try and make any sort of a profit or even break even, because we all know how poorly Spotify actually pays out to artists. It is 0.003 cents per 1,000 streams, for those of you who don't know. So when spending $217 on an ad campaign, getting 10,000 streams alone isn't going to pay back the money. But again, the whole point of this campaign was to start building an engaged audience from scratch on Spotify. One of the biggest objectives from this campaign as well was to get a bump from Spotify algorithmic playlists, more specifically Release Radar and Discover Weekly. I've been releasing music now for 4 years, and my first 2 songs I ever released got on Discover Weekly, but since then I've had nothing on Discover Weekly. And that is what made this campaign even more interesting, to see if we could get that Release Radar and then Discover Weekly bump, because we all know that is where the bulk of streams comes from. So with that all in mind, let's have a look at the results and the analytics. Okay, so the first place I want to start is at my Spotify, because I want to show you that I'm now at 4,000 monthly listeners. Now, before I started this campaign, I had just around 100 monthly listeners. It had been dropping. I hadn't released music for 2 years. The last single I released was Loved by Somebody. This was back in March of 2021, so nearly 2 years to the date. It got 13,000 streams altogether, but one of the biggest things, I wanted to Take Me Home not only to, get over that 10,000 streams mark, but I also wanted to be one of my most successful songs in a short period of time. And you can see today it's going to be ranking at the top because it's getting the most traffic. We're on 11,131 plays to date. This song was released in early March. I think the song's been live around 40 to maybe 45 weeks now, and we're at 4,000 monthly listeners, which is really cool. And our followers is now at 909. This was in the 800s. We'll look exactly when we go into Spotify, but the data's all good. And where we're getting the streams from is Mexico City, London, that's a good one, Spain's a good one, Brazil, Peru. So these 3 are mainly from the Facebook ad campaign, which you will see. So firstly, we're going to go into the Facebook campaign that I ran. So I spent $217 over this period. This campaign ran for about 2.5 weeks because I wanted to release it at the start, do the campaign first, and then hopefully this campaign would then drive the traffic to get the bulk of streams. So I was mainly just trying to get people, and we can see on here we got 529 link clicks, but that actually was closer to 600 when you look at the hype edit link, because this isn't always completely accurate. So we did get at least 529 people across early on in the first 2 weeks to listen to the song, which is really cool. Obviously, you can see the campaign ran up to 80,000 people it reached, and the cost per conversion was 41. That isn't great, I think, for conversion. I normally aim between 20 and 30p. So this campaign could have done better. I hadn't done the campaign like this for a while, and I didn't really know the audience. I just knew that I was releasing a pop EDM / tropical house song. So with that in mind, the audiences I decided to target was house music, Ed Sheeran, Rita Ora, EDM, Avicii and Kygo. I was thinking that Avicii and Kygo would do the best, but overall, in the end, it turns out that Ed Sheeran was the best cost per conversion, followed closely by EDM. Now, when you break it down, I actually, not only did I run this campaign with these 6 ad sets, but each ad set had 4 ads. So we had a total of 24 ads. So some ads did better than others. I think ad 4 on the average did the best. Now, in terms of demographic, I was targeting, again, these fans 18 to 34, male and female, because that is an audience I think really resonates with the sort of music that I released in the past. So I went for that again. I think this time it was more male, which was the dominant gender in terms of link clicks. I don't know what that means for going forward, but that was just the results. And I also targeted all continents except Asia and Africa, just because I've had bad experiences with bot farming with African and Asian countries. So I just tried to avoid that. But all of the countries I targeted were Spotify listening countries as well. That's very important. So when we look at the actual ad breakdown, we can break this down quickly by country so we can see which ones did the best. So overall, if we go back to the ad set here, a lot of the traffic was running like Brazil and Mexico and Peru. So South America did very well. Germany was actually a surprise one, although it was quite costly by 53 pence per conversion. But overall, as you can see, there's a massive broad range of countries here. So now I've got this data. When I do future Facebook ad campaigns, I can narrow down, take off countries which maybe, you know, didn't do much. So like Monaco, like 4p, that's technically wasted. Moldova, I probably wouldn't do again. So this data really helps in future campaigns for you. Now, one thing I now want to show you is going over to Spotify and how this has reflected over. So Spotify, this is how the song has done over the past, what was it? So it was released on the 16th of March. So I'm just going to drag this across so you can see it a bit better. There you go, that's a lot better. There you go. Right, so this is when the campaign was running. And then as soon as the campaign, I think the campaign ended, I think it was just about here. So this was the last day of the campaign that I ran. So you can see like it was taking some good traction. We're getting a good amount of streams per day. This is probably like whatever this was in streams is about half of it is into listeners. So we were getting about, I would say it was between 100 and 150 listeners a day at this point when the campaign was running. You can see it was a slow starter because the Facebook ad campaign didn't really kick in until Monday because ads don't really perform that well at the weekends. So when we dropped off, there was a little bit of a pause, but it stabilized at a really nice level before the spikes hit. Now, I wasn't running any ads at this point, and this is what the effect of the ads had. Because if we look at playlists, we'll take it to since 2015 so you can see. So Release Radar was the first thing that really kicked in. That first spike you saw, that was my first Release Radar push. And I got a Release Radar push consistently for 2 weeks after that first initial spike. So we've actually gained almost as many streams as we did from the Facebook ad campaigns afterwards from Release Radar. And then last week we got our first Discover Weekly bump. So in the first week of Discover Weekly, we've got 540 streams, which is really cool because I said at the start of this video, I hadn't been on Discover Weekly with any of my singles for probably about 4 years. So this is really cool to be back on this from the Facebook ad campaign that I ran. We also had a couple of on repeat, a couple of radios as well. And then one thing that's been really cool is the amount of playlists we've been added to. 216 playlists overall. That, a lot of it's from Facebook ads. So it's really cool that now this song is definitely going to get streams now, like for the rest of the year. This is a summer song as well, and I marketed a summer song. So a lot of the playlists that are on are actually, I would say, summer playlists. There was ones which had a lot more summer themed names and party, which is good. None of these ones recently that I can see on here, but they're getting streams is really cool. Like, you know, 21 streams on this place alone, 35 on this one. So the Facebook ad campaign has done really well for its purpose. So that's something that's really cool. Now, one of the things, again, I want to show you is how this has affected my overall Spotify. So we'll go back to the homepage quickly, and we're going to go to followers. So in the past 28 days, we'll see 2015. So you can see the spike here. This is followers. There we go. So this is the result of the campaign. We had around 815 followers before the start of this campaign, and after the Facebook ad campaign stopped, the followers stopped, but we gained nearly 100 followers on Spotify. So when I release my next song, that's 100 new people which are going to be sent either the song in their playlist, the Release Radar, or they'll get a notification that it's been released. So that's really cool. Didn't do enough to get on similar artists. That's something I don't have, but that doesn't matter too much. And in terms of current, because I said again that like it was pretty much a dead fan base that I had when I released a song, I did actually manage to get 35 people from my original followers to check it out. So that's cool as well. But overall, this campaign has done really well. We've got to 4,000. I was just wanting to get to 1,000 monthly listeners. So the fact we got to 4,000 is really cool. A lot of these are from the Release Radar, but you know, it's still a big win. So lastly, I'm going to show you how this is actually looked. So you can see in the past 28 days, we've had a really good stream to listener ratio, nearly 3, which is really cool. And all the plays and listens have gone up on all my other songs as a result. So it's starting to leak through. So people are listening to the rest of my catalogue. And we've still got 341 saves. Now, if we just look at it since 2015, you will see that in terms of overall performance, The track is now my 7th most streamed song. Now you might see this is Take Me Home here as well, but this is an older version of it I released, which has actually been taken down, but it's still displayed on there anyway, so you know, that is what it is. But it's currently 7th most streamed song. That's definitely going to go up, and I think it definitely will overtake Loved by Somebody at least. In terms of listeners, we've got 4,148 people listen to it, which is it's become my 3rd most listened to song, which is insane because the song has only been out just over a month and it's already 3rd. So the Facebook ad campaign has done amazing stuff for what potentially was my reach in the past. So Facebook ads definitely still work, and it's really cool. And you know, it might be a long shot to catch up with Feeling, because this one got an insane release radar and Discover Weekly push back in the day, because I released a song ages ago. It was my first song and it got a massive push. So we'll have to see whether it will catch up, but I definitely think that it's cemented itself as my 3rd most popular song overall. So that again is a big win. So yeah, this is how the Facebook ads has been able to allow me to have a Spotify again that I'm proud of, because if we look at my Spotify here, I hadn't been over 1,000 monthly listeners for a couple of years, and now we're on 4,000, and I've got another song, you've got to think of it this way, that will be coming out again probably in a month's time. I'm going to do the exact same thing. This will definitely probably stay above 1,000, you like to think. So when I release my next song now, we start to build momentum, and this is the thing about investing and using Facebook ads, because this first 200, we'll call it about 210, 217 pound that I invested has got me to this. So if I invest 217 again and this stays where it is, we could double this. And that is how you can use Facebook marketing to grow your Spotify. So yeah guys, let me know in the comments below if you think that it is worth it investing this sort of money in Spotify, and if you think Spotify, and also let me know if you even think Spotify is the thing that we need to be focusing on as artists. Smash that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching if you made it this far. Keep making music, and I will see you in the next video.